Hello, welcome to the Trews show business special. This is like to appeal to you if you're an American, because you might think, that guy's only on about English stuff. I don't know what halal even means. What is a Ukrainian conflict? So we've got this thing. This is an American publication. It's only £1 of money and then you can have it. Here's photos of people, whether or not they're fat. There's Kim Kardashian, she's of course attractive. There's George Clooney, he's attractive. This lady is too thin. Tara Reid, for example, is skeletal and saggy. And then there's some people's arses on the front of it. I mean, it isn't claiming to be sort of a purveyor of any particularly vital information. Here's Suri Cruise. I met Suri Cruise, she was intense. To meet a famous little child, because you just want to treat children like normal children, don't you? But you can't do that to Suri Cruise, although in the end, by the end of it I was. There's Cameron Diaz, sexualising herself there, for the amusement of a giant panda. Sandra, devastated as Clooney gets engaged. Scream Beauty secretly wanted to be his wife. Bruce Willis, naked shame. Die Hard hunk is humiliated by a flesh-bearing rumour. That I can't even understand as a piece of language, it's so abstract. So what this has done is it's distilled, it's like the only, whereas often celebrity information is sort of like an alternate frequency, like as a distraction or as a sort of a kind of like a cordial to go with normal information. Here it's just neat, hardened, concentrated celebrity data. So in the end, nothing means anything. If you're in Zimbabwe, though, this is what's happening in the Trews in Zimbabwe. This is a thing called B Metro. Look, their news is much more bold. Anal sex in exchange for rentals, food. Dead chicken send-off for mother. Son places fowl in mum's casket at body viewing. In a way, it's not incredibly dissimilar to our own news, except the paper, it feels like it's already lined a dog's bed. Paedophile impregnates landlord's daughter. Is that different from what we've been reading about Max Clifford and Rolf Harris and Saville? It's like we're trying to colonise Zimbabwe with our tabloidism as well as with our imperialism. Look, this is their version of the 3 AM girls and Bazaar and that. Attractive women walking along. Oh, women! That's nice, isn't it? I don't know exactly who they are, but they're attractive women. Most likely they've had some achievements in their lives, records, being in films and stuff like that. But let's focus on their main quality, attractiveness. Attractive women in nice, expensive clothes. Now what is that like as a hit? You know, like in some Eastern cultures, there's a thing called a mala. They'll create some spiritual pattern or whatever. Celtic folk do it. You've seen the Celtic thing, or you've seen filigrees around a church roof, or you've seen like that yin-yang symbol, or any symbol. It's for contemplation and reflection. And you look at that image, it engages you with a certain frequency of thought. You tune your head in the same way you tune a radio in. Consciousness comes through the mind, isn't generated by the mind. That's not been proven. That's just what I reckon. So if you look at that, if that's the designation of your consciousness, on one respect you can look at them as like Aphrodite or whatever, beautiful goddesses, the female form, the eminent potency of femininity, the creation of life through the female. But this is not that. This is consumerism. This is aligning female energy with a product. It's not a particular product, but it's it's broader than that. It's an ideology. It's an ideology of aesthetics, of consuming, of passiveness, of women as passive objects of reflection. Migrants! Migrants! They're moving around! Migrants! Migrants! They're moving around! This migrant, which is an immigrant, he's lost his I am, tries to cross the channel on planks with a sheep for a sail. I say let him in. He sounds like he's a man with a lot of initiative. Right, okay, I'm going to use a giant protractor and a bed sheet and some crutches, look, and I'm going to come over there. Brilliant. Can you solve the inner London traffic crisis? What's going on? What has been going on? Let's just work it out. Hopefully we can tune into the ancient flow of Chinese wisdom and it will solve some of this, because the world seems very confusing at the moment, doesn't it? Let's see what Zhuangzi, the Chinese philosopher, says. He's meant to be pretty clever. Nanpo Zuki said to the woman Crookback, which is a bit offensive if you ask me, "You are old in years and yet your complexion is that of a child. Why is this?" "I've heard the way," says this woman. "Can the way be learned?" says Nanpo Zuki. "Goodness, how could that be? Anyway, aren't you the man to do it?"
Now there's Brulang Yi, he has the talent of a sage but not the way of the sage, whereas I have the way of the sage but not the talent of the sage. I thought I'd try and teach him and see if I could get anywhere near to making him a sage. It's easier to explain the way of a sage to someone who has the talent of a sage, you know. So I began explaining and kept him at it for 3 days, and after that he was able to put the world outside himself. When he put the world outside himself, I kept at him for 7 more days, and after that he was able to put things outside himself. When he put things outside himself, I kept at him for 9 days more, and after that he was able to put life outside himself. After he put life outside of himself, he was able to achieve the brightness of dawn, and when he'd achieved the brightness of dawn, he could see his own aloneness. After he'd managed to see his own aloneness, he could do away with the past and present. After he'd done away with the past and present, he was able to enter where there is no life and death. That which kills life does not die. That which gives life to life does not live. This is the kind of thing it is. There's nothing it doesn't send off, nothing it doesn't welcome, nothing it doesn't destroy, nothing it doesn't complete. Its name is peace in strife. After the strife, it obtains completion. That's a bit heavy. You can't do anything right, can you, in ancient Chinese wisdom? Nothing's good enough for the ancient Chinese. It's a lot of pressure, isn't it? You've just got to let go of everything. You've got to live perfectly in the moment with zero attachments, and we're going to get anything done. I don't know if this is for everyone, this. It's a bit hardcore, isn't it? Zhuangzi. Like, we've all got to let go of everything, just drift around. Got to be continually in the moment. Well, it's up to you, really. Dun 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 dun.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some trews. Let's have some trews.